How's it going, everybody? It's the CDH Warrior back with you with another episode on how to stream. So last week we did basically the Nintendo 64 general info. This week we're going to get a little bit more in depth and explaining how to stream and play this game, The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. I'm surprised that the hologram actually shows up well on the camera. This was a pretty major game when it came out. But unlike last week where we just did the general info with the 64 and used Mario 64, which I unfortunately had to take down because it was copyright, I did leave the how-to video up for those that just want general info. But this week, we're not doing a general info. This is going to be probably a 10, maybe 15-minute video. Most of it is probably going to be me talking and gushing over this game. So if you're like me, you remember the Nintendo 64 from your childhood. I was in the generation between the 64 and the GameCube. So I've already shown you how to stream off the GameCube, that you can do it, can record off of it, can stream. Last week? 2 weeks ago, we did the hardest Zelda game, which is also known as The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Now, there's some debate on that game as to whether it's honestly the hardest Zelda game, especially after Breath of the Wild came out, and it became even harder. But, excuse the dogs in the background. I have 2 basset hounds and 2 blue ticks. And the 2 blue ticks and the 1 basset hound are outside going off, apparently. But anyway, let's get into the differences between a regular 64 game, like Super Mario 64, to a kind of special edition Nintendo 64 game, The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Now, this isn't the only game that needs this setup. The others, I believe, are Donkey Kong Country. Give me a second, and I'll pull the list and I'll read it off. Need the expansion pack. Okay. There's actually a list. Donkey Kong 64, Donkey Kong Country was also needed. The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Perfect Dark, which I don't remember offhand. Perfect Dark. Should I know this game? Oh, that one. It was played similar to GoldenEye. But Perfect Dark is kind of similar to GoldenEye in the way it's played. But enough about that. Let's see, were there any others? Games that can be improved with the expansion pack. Donkey Kong Country was the frame rate rendering issues. Duke Nukem was a high-res mode versus a low-res mode. Gauntlet Legends was 4-player that you needed the expansion pack. Yeah. Ken Griffey Jr.'s Slugfest allows for high-res gameplay. Majora's Mask was to enhance the graphics, such as increased texture, detail, removal of fog, and number of on-screen models, as well as effects. Perfect Dark. Pokemon Stadium 2 increased the resolution to 640 480, which I know some people are probably thinking, but we're now in 1080. Yeah, this was 20 years ago. Almost 25 years ago. This was a long time ago. What we think of now as the HD TVs and the 1080i, and are we now at 1280, I think? 1240 or 1250? Or is it 1280? That we're at with the displays now. We look at that and think, oh, this is so great. This is, well, for some of us that are older, we think it's so great. For those that are younger, people tend to view it as, oh, it's just normal. 20 years ago, things like this, what we're living in now, were not considered possible. So, just to put some perspective on things. Now, I've already run through how to set up the 64 and how to run through things, but you also had the Rumble Pack, which went, for those that didn't know, that's what this slot's for. But anyway, back to the main point of this game. Main point of this video, actually. So the main point of this video is to show the game and how to set it up. So we went through the general setup of how to connect the wires. So I'll show a little bit of that, but it won't be completely necessary. We're back, folks. This is just the general. Everyone saw this last week, if you watched last week's video, but you're going to take your AV component cables and plug them into your 64 on the back. Here, you're going to take your power supply and plug it back here, and you're going to plug in your remote here. Pretty straightforward and simple, but now's the tricky part. So here's the added portion of this. So on here there's a cover, and there's normally an extra pack here. Where did I put that other pack? Anyway, folks, I believe I showed you the expansion pack last week, so we won't worry too much about it right now. But I wanted to show you the general setup for the 64. So here is your expansion pack, and it's going to fit right here, and it just pops right in. We're going to put the cover back on this. Now you're going to take your game, Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. And we're going to plug it in right here. Give me 1 second. And we are back again with the second part of this. So now we've got everything plugged up. We've got our AV cables connected into our HDMI. We've got everything set up so it'll work. So now we're going to open our software. I have an AverMedia capture card, but I found out today you can use an Elgato as well. It has to be an HD60S, but what you're going to have to do for that is go in, and I believe I still have the software for the HD60S. I do not. No, I do. So I want to show the Game Capture HD to show that you can do that with this as well. So with the Game Capture HD, you're going to have to go in to Info. Oh, I don't have anything plugged up. So if I had a capture device plugged up, I could go in and go into Settings, for the capture card. I'll show this next week. I'll show how to do this off the Elgato next week. It'll be slightly different, but I'll show that you can do this. However, we're back to our other software. This is ReCentral 4. I've got an AverMedia capture card that I'm using. So, without further ado, let's get started. So first thing we're going to do is we are going to turn on the power. We should have a light. And here is our game. You know what? We're going to backtrack. Even though we saw this, I'm going to kind of record some of it so I can post it so it can show proof that you can record it. And it'll make more sense if you see the beginning. So this is the beginning of The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, part of our how-to video series. So I've got my remote. This is just proof to show that, yes, this will work. Video quality is not great, but you've got to remember, this is a game that's probably when was this game made? This game was made in 2000. It was re-released later for the GameCube. So, not too horrible. It was re-released in 2003 for the GameCube. I forget how much I remember this controller. And if you want to know how to stream off a GameCube, I actually did 2 videos on the GameCube the last 2 weeks. Or 3 weeks ago and 2 weeks ago. Last week was just a general how-to on the 64. Welcome to Majora's Mask. And we have a start button. Oh. I forgot. It's not thrilled with us. So we're just going to use an original name, but I know next week, now that I realize this controller was just a mess to play with, because it was bigger than it's bigger than my hand. There's no way a general kid could actually. Yes. Let's show the beginning of it. This is actually Kid Link. This is the Kid Link timeline, the child timeline. I believe the hero is successful. Link's Awakening is also in this timeline, which I actually streamed if you want to go check out previous videos. I have it in one long playlist. Some of the episodes took me longer than I expected. But it's one I also showed before where the timeline splits. And that is with Ocarina of Time. We had the Ocarina in this game. It is actually how saving works. Ow. But I think you all are starting to get the general idea. I'm going to continue to record maybe 10 minutes. And there's Majora's Mask. It's one, for me, showing a lot of these nostalgic games bring back some memories of my childhood. I remember friends that had the 64, they had the GameCube. I had a friend that had a PlayStation. And there's Majora's Mask. Why is it called Majora's Mask? I honestly don't know offhand. And there's the ocarina. Skull Kid. He stole the ocarina. This is like good and evil arguing with each other. The angel and devil. And now he takes off on your horse, dragging you with it. You know that had to hurt being drugged by a horse. But I figured I'd show you all the intro of it. Ow. And he just took off with our horse. Oh, do we have... I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just getting myself lost. There's no jump button. Oh. I did not see this opening. Well, that's obviously not where we were supposed to go. But I think you all get the general gist of this game. And the gist of why you have to have the extra rendering and everything. Oh, wow. This looks pretty good in HD. Let's just hope we don't get copyright strikes from it. But this is Skull Kid. Oh, this is the one where we have to walk around for the whole game. We don't have a horse. Now, last week, or 2 weeks ago I showed Ocarina of Time. This is if the hero fails in Ocarina of Time. Or hero fails, hero is successful. I think I got this wrong, but anyway. Not doing too bad for 12 minutes in. There's a lot of cutscenes, I do remember that. Oh, these are all the things in the tree that attack us. Yes, the Deco tree. The Deco tree starts attacking us at some point. But I think you all get the general point of this. I have shown proof that yes, you can record and stream off of it. Next. Okay. Oh, this is the weird mess. Light and darkness. Okay. And this kind of just gives you some general information on this game. But it's one, I'll end it here. I stream for an organization called CDH Stars and Angels. We are a 501c3 nonprofit that helps children with congenital diaphragmatic hernia. Our current upcoming fundraisers, you can see the whole stream, whole recording. I'll post it later. But our current fundraisers are our Cars Charitable Auto fundraiser. We have a Lego fundraiser upcoming next month in August. So it'll start in a few weeks. We, of course, have our ECMO initiative. If you could, go check out more on those. We also have Amazon Smile. With Amazon Prime Day and everything else going on, we actually get money from what you buy off Amazon. They actually give us a portion of the proceeds that they make off of their sales. So, for the CDH Warrior, I'm Drew Monday with a tutorial on how to stream off of a Nintendo 64. More specifically, how to stream The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Have a great day.